Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Sigpal here, and welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to talk about why you are unlikely to see the full Dark Melting rates and soul rates going forward. For optimal performance at the very least, that is, not for entertainment purposes, because for that you can pretty much use anything in the game and nobody's gonna judge you. But we're going to talk about rates and soul rates specifically. Now, I want to make something clear. We don't know absolutely anything about Robin King so far. But we still have all the information we need to kind of discern that it's very unlikely that we're going to see a full Dark Melting for now, at the very least until they add a fourth member, because of a few reasons. So since we don't know anything about King Robin, there's gonna be a few possibilities for him. He might be a very strong damage dealer, he might be a very strong support character, or he might be a very strong tank. We're going to exclude the tank possibility because in the case where he's going to be a tank, he's gonna be pretty bad by default and nobody's gonna care about him. Now let's explore the other two options and let's talk about why they do not fit in any way in the Dark Melting archetype. First of all, what if he's going to be a very good support character? We're going to first talk about Battle Labs because we're just going to cross this one off. If he's going to be a very good support character, he's not going to be in the Battle Labs team, or he's very unlikely to be, because Battle Labs is not a good damage dealer himself. Not at all. Like when Battle Drown got released, you had a team where you needed Battle and the Drown's buff, because back then she was not a good damage dealer herself. You need her buff, you need the Brainiac lethal stacking, and you need the Beta Club on Battle Labs in order to just get that decent damage. The only thing that this man has is 500% base attack, and that's all the way to 7 stars that he gets while he is in the Crisis Energy form. And base attack? Nah, bro. That's not something you do want to see. Now, on the support character, as far as Batwoman the Drowned goes, Batwoman Drowned is very strong herself, and she can do 2 billion damage without any assistance from other people. And she will eventually get to that point for everybody that has her, granted you play the game that far. Now that's a long road, I know it's gonna take quite a while, and when a new soul rate pops up, you have lower level passive artifacts, we know how she's dependent on those to deal decent damage, so he might find some room over there. If that's the case, still no full Dark Melting, because you're going to not have Battle Labs in there, because the purpose is buffing Battle on the Drowned, and if Battle Labs was so great at buffing Battle on the Drowned, we would still be using him for that reason, but he doesn't do anything to buff her. Only thing this man can do is percentage hull damage and maybe getting faster into Crisis Energy form. He can definitely do that, but Battle on the Drowned prefers Jon Strom Green Lantern and Arkham Knight Batman ideally. And don't get me with that argument, Arkham Knight Batman is a legendary character, Sigval, not everybody has them. Well, so is Batman Labs, my dude. That's exactly the same situation over there when it comes to choosing between those. Both of them are going to be more or less equally hard to get. Now, him being a good support character for Batman the Drowned is also an iffy situation. Because for this, he kind of needs to be a gold character that's relatively easy to get, because if he's a legendary character in a legendary character chest, that's gonna take a lot of expenditure to unlock, and after you unlock him, it's gonna take a lot of resources to max out, then you'd rather put all those resources into maxing out your Battle on the Drowned, because she's gonna be in a chest that's 250 gem cost, has an 8% chance for 160 shards, so why bother unlocking him when you can trade up, get your Battle on the Drowned stronger? Now, if everything is going to be amazing in regards to him being a gold character, being a great support character for Battle on the Drowned, that would be, in my opinion, the ideal scenario, or one of the ideal scenarios. You'll still not see Battle Labs in that team. Now, let's talk about the second possibility. What if he's going to be a great damage dealer? Well, if he's going to be a great damage dealer, you're not gonna see Battle Labs in that team, most likely. Because Battle Labs doesn't do absolutely anything to buff Dark Meld characters, except of course the percentage hull damage and maybe getting faster into Crisis form. Now, he might have some passives that are going to give you buffs depending on how many Dark Meld teammates you actually are going to have. And if that's the case, then maybe Batman Who Laughs will be in there to help him out to increase his buffs. If he is the damage dealer, like Robin is the damage dealer, then we might have Batman Who Laughs just for the purpose of increasing those passive buffs that he's able to provide. But we're not gonna see Batman Underground because she's gonna do her own thing. Like, let's say he's a godly damage dealer, and Batman Underground is also a godly damage dealer. Why would you put both of them in the same team? This is the equivalent logic to putting Kim Flan Sakoman and League of Anarchy in the same team. Why not having them in different teams? Both teams doing their own damage and doing amazing in two separate fights. So even in that situation, you'll not have Batman Underground in there. So as you can see, even if we are only trying to pair him up with Batman Who Laughs, the situation is gonna be very problematic. And if we try to pair him up with Batman Underground, there's only one course. He will be a good support character, and that perk that he can provide, if that's the case, is gonna be not that short-lived, but eventually gonna be outclassed by Batman Underground alone. And look, don't get me wrong, Goblin King. I was thinking about. I watched a video on the comics of Goblin King to catch up with the lore, and his minions are called Groblins, and I'm pretty tempted to call him Groblin King. So the Groblin King is a pretty exciting character, one of the more sadistic characters in the DC universe. I think they're gonna give him the Catman AI most likely, and I just can't wait to get my hands on that. Who doesn't want to play a midget psychotical? I mean, he's not a midget, he's a kid. Who doesn't play? But let's think about midget. Who doesn't want to play a midget who's a psychotic killer that has the ungodly movements of Catwoman? Like, trust me, on Catwoman it looks fine. He's cosplaying as a cat, he's Catwoman, but when you see that on our characters, it's gonna be cursed. So I'm very excited about this man. I'm gonna get him as soon as he's released. I'm gonna buy him if I need to. I'm gonna provide some gameplay. I'm even gonna use the full Dark Metal team. But the chances of seeing the full Dark Metal team for peak performance is gonna be very, very low. Now, I might be wrong about this, and not necessarily hopefully I'm wrong, because if I'm right, you don't have anything to lose. You simply need less character to make stuff work, and everybody loves needing less to make stuff work. Yeah. Well, that being said, thanks so much for watching. Like if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it. Let me know in the comments what you think about the Goblin King. Robin King. Groblin. Bro. I need to stop. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about him, what you think he's gonna be like as a support character or maybe a damage dealer, and if you actually think yourself we're going to see a good performance about the full Dark Metal team. I personally think we will have to wait for a third member. But yeah, all that being said, thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.